ladies and gentlemen. It doesn't care about your complaints. The world only cares about what you do and how you respond to the challenges that arise. When you take ownership of your life, you stop waiting for permission, you stop looking for validation, and you stop relying on external factors to determine your happiness and success. Instead, you start creating your own reality. You might be thinking, but it's hard. Life is hard. It's not fair, and I get it. Life is tough, and it's easy to feel overwhelmed when everything seems to be going wrong. But here's what you need to understand. It's not supposed to be easy. If it were easy, everyone would be doing it, and the world would be full of people living their dreams. What separates those who succeed from those who don't is simple: the willingness to show up, to keep going even when it's hard. It's about pushing through the discomfort, the doubts, and the setbacks. You see, life doesn't care how many times you fall down. It doesn't care how many times you fail or how many times you think you can't go on. Life will keep moving, and so must you. Every setback, every failure is an opportunity to rise again. And when you rise, you do so with more wisdom, more resilience, and a stronger sense of purpose. You learn what doesn't work, and you move forward with even more clarity about what will. But this only happens if you make the choice to keep going. If you let the excuses stop you, then you're guaranteeing that you will stay stuck in the same place forever. Imagine if the great leaders, innovators, and achievers of the world had given up at the first sign of struggle. Imagine if they had told themselves, it's too hard, or I don't have the resources, or I'm not good enough. We wouldn't have the technology we have today. We wouldn't have the breakthroughs in medicine, science, and art that have changed the world. These individuals didn't get where they are by waiting for things to be perfect. They got there by deciding that no excuse, no obstacle, and no setback was big enough to stop them. Now, let me tell you this: you have within you everything you need to succeed. The question is, are you willing to step up and claim it? Are you willing to stop letting excuses control you and take control of your destiny? Are you willing to show up every day and do the work even when you don't feel like it? Because if you are, then nothing can stop you. Not your circumstances, not your past, and not the opinions of others. The journey to greatness is a daily commitment. It's not about making a grand gesture once in a while. It's about what you do every single day. Success doesn't come from making excuses. It comes from making decisions. It comes from deciding to act, to push forward, and to refuse to be derailed by doubt or fear. Every small step you take today is a step closer to your future. And as long as you keep moving, you'll eventually reach your destination. So let me ask you again, what's your excuse? What's stopping you from taking the first step, from showing up fully, from doing what you know you are capable of? Because here's the truth: whatever it is, it's just an excuse. And it's up to you whether you let it define your future or whether you step up, take responsibility, and break through it. There is no magic formula, no secret ingredient. There's just you, your commitment, and your willingness to show up every single day, no matter what. The only thing standing between you and the life you want is the story you tell yourself about why you can't have it. Stop telling yourself that you can't, that it's too late, that it's too hard, or that you don't deserve it. Start telling yourself that you are capable, that you are worthy, and that you will do whatever it takes to succeed, because the moment you do, your life will begin to change. I know it's not always easy. I know that the road to success is filled with obstacles, challenges, and setbacks. But I also know that you have the strength, the power, and the drive to overcome anything that comes your way. It's time to stop making excuses. It's time to stop waiting for the perfect moment. The time is now, and the only question is whether you will rise to meet it. The choice is yours, and your future starts today. Success doesn't wait for ideal circumstances. You must take action now, regardless of doubts or challenges, because waiting for the right time only leads to missed opportunities. Success begins with taking full responsibility for your life. Stop blaming external factors or making excuses. The power to change lies within you, and only you can control your actions and destiny. Failure is not a setback, it's an opportunity to learn and grow. Success comes from pushing through challenges, adapting, and using each failure as a stepping stone toward achievement. Consistent, focused action is the key to success. It's not about grand gestures, but daily commitment and the willingness to push forward despite obstacles. Small, consistent steps lead to big results over time. Excuses are the greatest barrier to achieving your goals. Stop telling yourself why you can't succeed. Instead, embrace the mindset that you are capable, resourceful, and ready to take whatever action is needed to create the life you desire. There is a common belief that success depends on finding the perfect moment to act, that there's a moment when all the stars align and the conditions are just right for you to take the leap. People wait for the perfect situation, the perfect time, or the perfect opportunity, thinking that if they wait long enough, things will magically fall into place. But here's the harsh truth: the perfect moment does not exist. Life is not designed to wait for your convenience. Success isn't found in ideal conditions. It's found in the willingness to take action regardless of them. You've heard it before: wait until everything is ready. Wait until you have the right experience. Wait until you have the right amount of money. Wait until you're fully confident. But this waiting only delays progress. In reality, the more you wait, the more you procrastinate, the more you're actually reinforcing your own doubts and fears. Every time you tell yourself that now is not the right time, you're giving more power to those limiting beliefs and you're letting opportunities pass you by. The truth is, if you wait for the right moment, you'll never act because the right moment will never come. Think about the people who are truly successful. The ones who've created massive change in their lives didn't wait for perfect conditions. They didn't wait until the perfect time to start their business, write their book, or take the risk that would change their lives. They took action when things were uncertain, when the odds were stacked against them, when they didn't have everything figured out. They understood that success is not about waiting for the perfect moment, but about creating that moment by stepping forward, even when they weren't fully ready. It's easy to fall into the trap of thinking that you need to know everything before you start. You tell yourself that you have to be prepared, that you need more training, more resources, or more time. But what happens when you wait? You only stay where you are. The longer you wait, the more you delay your potential. Action is the key that unlocks everything. When you take that first step, when you decide to move forward, everything starts to unfold in ways you can't even anticipate. The clarity you need comes from doing, not from waiting. The resources you need appear when you start taking action. The confidence you seek is built through experience, not through avoiding risk. There is always something to learn, always something that can be gained from taking action, even if it doesn't go as planned. It's not about getting it perfect, it's about showing up, doing the work, and staying committed even when you don't have all the answers. The process of doing will help you learn, adapt, and grow. There's a reason why so many successful people talk about the importance of taking imperfect action. It's because taking action are willing to make mistakes along the way. The people who make the most progress are the ones who take action in spite of the fear, doubt, and uncertainty. They don't wait for the perfect moment because they know it will never come. Instead, they create the perfect moment through their willingness to act. So stop waiting for things to be perfect. Stop waiting for the right time. The right time is now. The moment you decide to take action is the moment that the perfect moment arrives. You don't need everything to be in place. You just need to start. Because when you do, everything else will begin to fall into place. Taking ownership of your life is one of the most powerful decisions you can make. It's a commitment to fully embrace responsibility for every aspect of your existence, your actions, your thoughts, your outcomes, and your future. It's about recognizing that you, and only you, are the architect of your life. The moment you realize that you control the direction you go in, you unlock an immense amount of power. No longer will you be at the mercy of circumstances, other people, or external conditions. You will begin to see that every choice you make has the power to shape your reality, and that no one else can determine your destiny but you. Many people walk through life without fully understanding the responsibility they have over their own existence. Instead, they blame others, circumstances, or even the world at large for their lack of success, their unhappiness, or their unmet goals. This mindset is disempowering. When you give away control of your life, you're essentially saying that someone else is in charge of your future. But in reality, you are the only one with the power to change your life. You are the only one who can make the decisions that will lead to your success, happiness, and fulfillment. When you truly take ownership of your life, you stop making excuses, stop waiting for things to change, and stop allowing anyone or anything to dictate your journey. Taking ownership means realizing that your thoughts, beliefs, and actions are the only things standing between you and your goals. It means understanding that you are responsible for your mindset and that if you are not where you want to be in life, it is because of the choices you've made, choices that you have the power to change. This is not about blame, but about empowerment. Once you accept that you are the one who has shaped your current circumstances, you can make a choice to change them. The good news is that once you take full ownership of your life, you become the person who has the power to create change. Every challenge becomes an opportunity to grow. Every setback becomes a lesson, and every moment becomes a chance to redefine who you are and where you're headed. One of the biggest obstacles that keeps people from taking ownership of their lives is the fear of failure. Many people are afraid to take responsibility because they think that it will mean admitting they've failed or made mistakes. But failure is not the opposite of success, it's part of it. Every successful person has experienced failure, and it's through those failures that they've learned, adapted, and grown. The fear of failure keeps people from taking the necessary risks that are essential for growth. When you take ownership of your life, you stop seeing failure as something to be avoided. You begin to see it as a stepping stone, a necessary part of the process that allows you to move forward. If you're not failing, you're not taking enough risks. If you're not failing, you're playing it safe, and playing it safe never leads to greatness. Another key to taking ownership of your life is recognizing that your past does not define your future. Many people allow their past mistakes, their upbringing, or their circumstances to determine what they believe is possible for them. They tell themselves that because they've faced challenges in the past, they're not worthy of success, or that it's too late to change. But the truth is that the past is gone. It no longer has any power over you unless you give it that power. Your future is a blank slate, waiting for you to write your story. The choices you make today will define your future, not the decisions you made in the past. The more you focus on the things you can't change, the more you miss out on the opportunities available to you right now. If you're stuck in the past, you'll never move forward. But when you take ownership of your life, you realize that the future is yours to create. Your past does not define you. It's the lessons you've learned from it that will guide you forward. Taking ownership also means taking responsibility for your emotions. It's easy to blame the world, other people, or situations for how you feel. But the truth is, your emotions are a result of how you interpret and respond to the events in your life. Nobody can make you feel anything unless you allow them to. You have the power to choose how you respond to the situations and people around you. When you allow other people or external circumstances to dictate how you feel, you are giving away your power. But when you take ownership of your emotions, you realize that you are in control of your responses. This doesn't mean you'll never experience anger, sadness, or frustration. It means that you choose not to stay in those emotions. You choose not to let them control you. You take responsibility for how you feel and how you choose to move forward from those feelings. It's important to realize that taking ownership doesn't mean doing everything on your own. In fact, one of the keys to success is the ability to ask for help when you need it. But asking for help is not the same as giving away control of your life. It's about being resourceful and recognizing that you don't have to do everything by yourself. It's about finding the right people, the right resources, and the right guidance to help you achieve your goals. Taking ownership means recognizing that you have the power to surround yourself with the right people who can support and encourage you, but ultimately the decisions are yours to make. You are responsible for finding the resources you need and taking the necessary steps to make your vision a reality. No one else can do that for you. Another aspect of ownership is the willingness to take risks. The most successful people are not the ones who have avoided risk, they are the ones who have embraced it. They understand that taking risks is a natural part of growth, and that without taking risks, they would never reach their full potential. If you want to grow, you have to get comfortable with discomfort. You have to be willing to step outside of your comfort zone and take actions that may feel uncertain or scary. But that's where the magic happens. That's where growth lies. When you own your life, you don't let fear or doubt hold you back. You understand that taking risks is a necessary part of achieving success, and that every risk you take is an opportunity to learn, grow, and move closer to your goals. Taking ownership of your life also means letting go of the need for external validation. So many people live their lives seeking approval from others. They want to be liked, accepted, and validated by those around them. But when you rely on external validation for your sense of self-worth, you give up control of your life. You become a slave to the opinions of others. True ownership comes from within. It comes from knowing who you are, what you stand for, and what you want to achieve. When you stop seeking validation from others, you begin to live authentically. You begin to take actions that are aligned with your true desires, rather than actions that are meant to please others. You begin to trust your own judgment and decisions, knowing that you have the power to create the life you want. As you take ownership of your life, you begin to see the power of discipline. Discipline is not about rigid rules or restrictions. It's about committing to your goals and taking consistent action toward them. It's about showing up every day, even when you don't feel like it. It's about doing the work, even when it's hard. Discipline is what keeps you moving forward, even when the excitement fades or the novelty wears off. When you own your life, you understand that discipline is the bridge between your current reality and your desired future. It's the daily choices you make that will determine your success or failure. Without discipline, dreams remain just that, dreams. But with discipline, those dreams become reality. When you take ownership of your life, you also take ownership of your health and well-being. Your physical, mental, and emotional health are the foundation of everything you do. If you neglect your health, you are sabotaging your ability to succeed in every area of your life. Taking ownership of your life means making your health a priority. It means taking the time to nourish your body, your mind, and your spirit so that you can show up as your best self every day. You are responsible for how you treat yourself. When you neglect your health, you're limiting your ability to achieve your goals and live the life you deserve. Taking ownership of your life means realizing that you have the power to create change. You are the only one responsible for your happiness, success, and fulfillment. No one can take that power away from you unless you let them. Once you recognize that you are the one who determines your future, everything begins to shift. You become the creator of your own life. You take action, make decisions, and move forward with clarity, confidence, and purpose. The moment you take ownership of your life is the moment everything changes. You no longer wait for things to happen to you, you make them happen. So you stop making excuses, stop blaming others, and stop allowing anything or anyone to control your life. You are the one in charge, and with that ownership comes the power to create the life you've always dreamed of. Relentless action is the key to breaking through the barriers that stand between you and your goals. It is the difference between success and failure, between achieving your dreams and settling for mediocrity. Most people understand the importance of action, but what separates the successful from the rest is the consistency and tenacity of their efforts. Relentless action is not simply about moving forward, it's about pushing yourself to the limits, even when the going gets tough, even when you're unsure, and even when you're exhausted. The truth is, taking action without relent is what builds momentum, and momentum is what propels you to new heights, keeps you moving forward, and allows you to achieve more than you ever thought possible. The first thing you must understand about relentless action is that it's not about speed, but about consistency. It's easy to get caught up in the desire to see immediate results. We live in a world of instant gratification where people expect quick results and fast success. But the reality is that the greatest achievements take time and effort. Relentless action isn't about racing to the finish line. It's about continuing to show up, day after day, putting in the work, no matter how small it may seem in the moment. Success doesn't happen overnight. It happens through small, consistent efforts over time. It's about pushing through even when you don't feel like it, even when the excitement fades or when the work becomes monotonous. Relentless action is about doing what needs to be done, whether you feel like it or not, and doing it consistently. When you commit to relentless action, you become someone who doesn't wait for the perfect moment, the right resources, or the ideal conditions. You stop waiting for everything to fall into place and start doing the work with whatever you have, wherever you are. Too many people get caught in the trap of perfectionism. They wait for the right time, the right circumstances, or the right amount of resources. But waiting for everything to be perfect is just another form of procrastination. When you take relentless action, you realize that the conditions will never be perfect. You realize that it's not about waiting for everything to align, it's about taking the first step, even if it's imperfect. Action creates its own momentum. Once you start, things begin to move, opportunities appear. The more action you take, the more the universe rewards your effort. Relentless action requires a mindset shift. It's not about being driven by external rewards, but about finding intrinsic motivation within yourself. It's about being disciplined, being focused, and having the resilience to keep going when things aren't going your way. It's easy to start something when it's exciting and new, but the real test comes when the excitement fades, when you're faced with obstacles, or when the outcome seems distant. Relentless action is about showing up when things are hard, when things don't go as planned, and when you feel like giving up. It's about refusing to let the inevitable setbacks stop you. The most successful people in life are not the ones who never fail, but the ones who fail and keep going anyway. They have the ability to push through adversity, to continue taking action even when the results aren't immediate or visible. One of the greatest challenges to taking relentless action is fear. Fear of failure, fear of judgment, fear of the unknown. All these fears can paralyze us and prevent us from taking the action we know we need to take. But relentless action requires that you push through fear, not allow it to stop you. Fear is natural. Everyone experiences it. But the difference between those who succeed and those who don't is that successful people don't let fear control them. They acknowledge it, feel it, but continue to act in spite of it. Every successful person has felt fear at some point. The key is to not let fear dictate your actions. You don't have to wait until you feel completely confident to take the next step. You take the step even when you're uncertain. The more you face fear and continue to act, the less power it has over you. Another important aspect of relentless action is the willingness to push beyond your comfort zone. Growth doesn't happen when you stay in your comfort zone. It happens when you challenge yourself, when you step into the unknown, when you push yourself to do the things that scare you. Relentless action requires that you face your fears head on, that you step outside of what's comfortable and familiar. This is where the real growth happens. It's easy to stick with what you know. It's easy to stay in situations where you feel safe and in control. But nothing extraordinary ever happens in that space. If you want to achieve something great, if you want to create real change in your life, you have to get comfortable with discomfort. You have to embrace the challenges that come with taking relentless action, knowing that each step forward, each challenge faced, is a step closer to your goal. Relentless action also requires an understanding of failure. Too many people give up when they fail. They see failure as a permanent setback rather than a learning opportunity. But failure is simply part of the process. Every failure is a lesson. Every failure is a chance to reassess, to learn, and to improve. When you take relentless action, you understand that failure is not the end. It's a part of the journey. It's feedback. It's an indication of what needs to change, what needs to improve, and what you need to do differently. The key is not to stop when you fail, but to learn from it and keep going. The more failures you experience, the closer you get to success. Each failure teaches you something valuable. Each failure brings you closer to the person you need to become to achieve your goals. Consistency is also crucial in relentless action. Success doesn't come from one big burst of effort. It comes from sustained effort over time. The most successful people aren't the ones who have moments of brilliance. They are the ones who consistently show up, who consistently put in the work, who consistently take action day after day. Relentless action is not about waiting for motivation to strike. It's about creating the habits that will drive you forward, even when motivation wanes. Motivation can be fleeting, but discipline and consistency will carry you through. When you take action relentlessly, it becomes a habit. It becomes something you do automatically without thinking. The more you commit to taking action, the easier it becomes. The more you show up, the more momentum you create. And momentum is a powerful force. Relentless action also requires that you don't let setbacks stop you. Life is full of obstacles. Things will not always go as planned. You will face unexpected challenges, and things will not always be easy. But the difference between those who succeed and those who don't is how they respond to these challenges. Successful people don't give up when things get hard. They find new solutions, they adapt, and they continue to take action. Setbacks are not signs to quit. They are signs to adapt, to try again, and to push even harder. If you let setbacks stop you, you'll never achieve anything meaningful. But if you use them as stepping stones, as opportunities to learn and grow, you will keep moving forward. One of the greatest advantages of relentless action is that it helps you build resilience. The more you act, the more you push through challenges, the more resilient you become. Resilience is the ability to bounce back from adversity, to keep going when things get tough. It's the ability to stay focused on your goals, no matter how many obstacles you encounter. Relentless action helps you develop this resilience because it forces you to confront difficulties head-on. It forces you to keep moving forward, even when you don't feel like it. And with each step you take, with each challenge you overcome, you grow stronger. You become more confident, more determined, and more capable of achieving even greater things. Relentless action is also about focusing on the process, not just the result. Many people focus so much on the end goal that they forget to appreciate the journey. They get so caught up in the destination that they forget to enjoy the process. But when you take relentless action, you understand that the process is just as important as the result. The journey is where the growth happens. It's where you learn, where you develop new skills, and where you build the character needed to achieve your dreams. Focusing solely on the outcome can lead to frustration because success doesn't happen all at once. But when you focus on the process, on the small steps you're taking every day, you start to see progress. So you start to see that your efforts are adding up. And that progress is what keeps you going. Relentless action is about never settling for less than what you deserve. It's about never allowing obstacles or setbacks to keep you from pursuing your dreams. It's about showing up day after day, doing the work, and pushing through the challenges. It's about believing in yourself even when others doubt you. It's about having the determination to keep going even when the path seems uncertain. Relentless action is what separates those who achieve their dreams from those who give up. It's the secret to success. And once you commit to taking relentless action, you'll start to see the results in your life. The road will not always be easy, but the rewards will be worth it. Keep taking action and you will see your dreams come to life. The moment you stop making excuses and start focusing on results, your life begins to change in ways you never imagined. Excuses are the enemy of progress. They are the stories we tell ourselves to justify our lack of action or to make us feel better about staying where we are. The truth is, every excuse we make is a decision to stay stuck, to avoid growth, and to reject the possibilities that lie before us. The reality is, no one is coming to fix your life for you. The only person who can create the future you want is you. And the first step in that process is to stop making excuses and start focusing on the results you want to create. Excuses are nothing more than a way of taking the responsibility off our shoulders. They allow us to pass the blame onto external factors, other people, or circumstances. When we make excuses, we tell ourselves that things are beyond our control, that the situation is too difficult, or that the timing isn't right. We give ourselves permission to do nothing, to avoid the discomfort of change or the challenge of stepping outside our comfort zones. But when we focus on results, we take ownership of our lives. We stop looking for reasons why we can't do something and start looking for ways to make it happen. We become proactive, focused, and determined. Excuses keep us trapped in a cycle of inaction, but results are the result of persistent effort, focus, and a refusal to accept anything less than our best. The first step in eliminating excuses is to recognize that the only thing standing between you and the life you want is your own mindset. So many people spend their lives blaming everything from their upbringing to their current circumstances for their lack of success. But the truth is, successful people don't get ahead because of their circumstances. They get ahead because they refuse to accept them as limitations. They focus on what they can control, and they make it happen regardless of the challenges they face. Successful people don't sit around waiting for the perfect conditions to arrive. They create the conditions they need through sheer determination and hard work. If you want to achieve something, you have to stop focusing on why it's hard and start focusing on how you can make it work. One of the most common excuses people make is that they don't have enough time. Time is often cited as the biggest barrier to success. But the reality is that we all have the same 24 hours in a day. What separates the successful from the unsuccessful is how they choose to use their time. Time is not a resource we can create more of, but it is a resource we can manage. It's all about priorities. When you focus on results, you stop wasting time on things that don't move you closer to your goals. You begin to recognize where your time is being spent, make conscious choices to eliminate distractions, and focus on what truly matters. We all have the same amount of time each day, but some people use it more effectively than others. The question isn't whether you have time. The question is whether you are using your time to build the future you want. Another common excuse is the fear of failure. People often hesitate to take action because they're afraid of making mistakes or falling short. But the truth is that failure is an essential part of success. No one who has ever achieved greatness has done so without failing along the way. Failure isn't something to be avoided, it's something to be embraced as a valuable part of the process. Every failure is an opportunity to learn, to grow, and to become better. The fear of failure only holds us back if we allow it to. When we focus on results, we take action regardless of the fear. We embrace failure as a stepping stone toward success, knowing that each setback is just another lesson in the journey toward achieving our goals. The fear of failure becomes irrelevant when we shift our focus from perfection to progress. Failure is not the end, it's simply a part of the path. A major excuse people make is that they don't have the resources they need to succeed. Whether it's money, knowledge, or connections, many people feel limited by what they don't have. But the truth is that successful people don't wait for resources to fall into their lap, they create their own resources. They are resourceful, creative, and willing to find ways to make things happen. If you want to build a business, for example, you don't need all the capital in the world to get started. You need a vision, a plan, and the willingness to take action with whatever resources you have at your disposal. The lack of resources is not a barrier, it's an opportunity to be creative and resourceful. When you focus on results, you find ways to make the most of what you have and work with what's available to you. You learn to see possibilities instead of limitations. The idea of not having the right skills or knowledge is another excuse that holds people back. Many individuals feel like they aren't qualified enough to pursue their goals, or they worry that they don't have the experience necessary to succeed. But the truth is that nobody starts out with all the skills they need. Success is built through continuous learning, growth, and development. If you don't have the knowledge or skills you need, go out and acquire them. Take courses, read books, find mentors, and put in the work to improve yourself. It's not about being perfect from the start. It's about taking consistent action to become better over time. The people who succeed are the ones who take ownership of their learning and development. They don't make excuses about what they don't know. They take action to learn what they need to know and use it to move forward. Focusing on results means focusing on growth, and growth requires that you embrace learning as a lifelong pursuit.